Now also wanting to speak under Council Procedure Rule 24.1, Councillor Ash Aspey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My point follows on from Councillor Pro-Brown's on the TDC Planning portal. The most recent plan to show the boundary line shown in red of the extended change of use in diagram 101-48455 dated 27th July 2015. This clearly shows the original parking spaces, see diagram 101-50811, and the boundary line runs between building 2 brackets 870 and building 3. Since there is no new plan submitted showing the revised boundary required to accommodate the new parking, diagram 101-56439 dated 17th of September 2015, this application must be called into question. What area of the airport are you giving permission for the change of use to? Note, the diagram refers to taxiway Delta when it should be taxiway Echo, which is obviously a significant discrepancy. This follows on to the revised diagram 101-564 dated 17th of July 2015, shows a car parking space of 116 spaces. It actually adds up to 115 on the plan. This value exceeds the maximum stated by KCC and TDC. The application states that with the extension building 870 occupies a total gross internal floor space of 3,850 metres squared, and the building is to be used for B2 use, general industrial use. Under the KCC rules, see page 20, B2 properties can have a maximum of 1 space per 50 metre squared. This gives 77 spaces, not 116, brackets 150. However, this should be applied with discretion into industrial premises that will demonstrate a high employee density, comparable, for example, with B1 high-tech and research. If this is the case, why did they not stipulate that the building would be used for B1 high-tech and research? Using B1 figures of 1 space to 35 gives 110 spaces. In addition to KCC rules, parking for people with impaired mobility, for car parks with 40 to 200 spaces, there must be a minimum of 4 designated spaces, or 5% of the total capacity, whichever the greater. The plans have 2 designated spaces. Finally, under KCC rules, pages 19 and 20, there is a minimum requirement for 1 cycle parking space per 200 metres squared. This gives a minimum of 19 cycle parking spaces. 13 of the 70% rule applies. There appears to be no such provision on the plan. On the planning, on the outline, going back to that just to sum up, it is not within our premise to alter the application. It should be rejected. The applicant has not availed himself of the abundant opportunities already prioritised to put things right. They have not done this. Best to go away, think again before reinstatement or finding another site. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ashby. Planning Officer will now outline the report.
Thank you, Chairman, and good evening, members and members of the public. The application before members is for the change of use from an airport use to general industrial use, together with a 4-storey extension and insertion of windows at building 870. The building in question is outlined in red here in relation to the wider airport, and it's this building here. Now, this application returns to members following the deferral at the last committee meeting. Subsequent to that meeting, as seen in the agenda item that you have in front of you, we received a summary note, also appended to the agenda, which outlines the matters relating to radar, runway and taxiway safeguarding, with particular regard to the extension. Now, this note has been submitted to the Civil Aviation Authority, and the summary of that response is given at point 3.1 and 3.2 of the report. Now, the conclusion of that comment and our consideration of both the report and the Civil Aviation Authority comment is that the proposed development would not have a significant impact on radar, runway, taxiway capability of the airport were development to be granted. Now, as outlined in the previous presentations, obviously we've had two, and obviously the site visit in the middle, the main issues for members to consider this evening is the principle of development, the impact on the character and appearance of the area, highways issues, as well as other matters that are detailed in the committee agenda report that is also appended to the agenda item. Just to pick up a couple of points that have been raised, and particularly with regards to the traffic elements that have been raised, I'm going to draw members' attention to, this is the existing access to the building. A couple of things have come up originally when the application was being considered before it came to members the first time with regards to visibility out of this access and also in terms of the impact on Spitfire Junction. Now, as part of that, there is a proposal for a visibility strip to be included and conditioned as part of any approval. As well as that, and apologies for jumping through the photos a little bit, I will just show you. This is the arrangement to actually for turning circle for service vehicles in the front of the building, and then skipping over one, there is off-site highways works that's proposed and agreed with KCC to widen the accesses at either side of Spitfire Way to improve the manoeuvrability of vehicles to avoid backing up at those junctions.
That's convenient.
To cover the other points we raised with regards to the plans, with regards to parking, the application site is as outlined on this red line plan here in terms of the change of use. But as part of the application, the parking plan has changed, which is appended and also where it's mentioned at 1.2 of your report that's in front of you. Particular regard was had with relating to the aviation safeguarding zone for taxiway manoeuvrability, particularly with regards to the 51 metres that's required for the largest planes that the Civil Aviation Authority give advice with regards to ensure that there wasn't any conflict between the actual obstruction from those from that parking area. Now, as well as that, it's also been pointed out with regards to the obstruction light that's been referenced by both the applicant's report and also by the Civil Aviation Authority. And this is a condition that can be added if members feel that the application is for approval, which can be added as a requirement that it is installed at point of construction of that extension, and that can be added if members feel that is important to add on if members are minded to approve the application. Now, the recommendation of officers following the resolving of the issue that was raised by the Civil Aviation Authority, and that's then been agreed to not have an impact by the Civil Aviation Authority, is that the application should be approved as an acceptable departure from policy EC4, given the specific demonstrated need for a general industrial unit of this size and the economic benefits from an expanding Thanet business.
Can you be quiet, please? Otherwise I'll adjourn and have the offenders removed. Thank you.
And therefore the officer recommendation is for approval of the application as an acceptable departure to EC4 and CC1. Thank you, Chair.